Like, imagine how crazy this is. Clemson didn't punt in the second half, and they didn't score. And yes, they I mean, it was missed field goal or blocked field goal.
Yeah, blocked.
Fumble, turnover on downs, interception, turnover on downs. That's horrendous. If you told me Clemson didn't punt for an entire half, I would have guessed they scored 40 in the game. They didn't score the entire second half and didn't punt. Duke kicked a field goal after facing first and goal at the 4-yard line. So they got all the way down to the 4, first and goal, didn't score a touchdown, had to settle for the field goal. They gave Clemson their only touchdown with a muffed punt deep in their own territory. They fumbled at the end of a 12-play drive to get nothing right before half when they should have gone into half with a lead. They fumbled it and basically gave away the halftime lead. And their stud quarterback, Riley Leonard, who's everybody's favorite right now, completed 51% of his pass attempts. And they weren't the team with regrets at the end. They were the team celebrating at the end. It's very strange, that game, the way it played out. Very strange. Duke handled, and by the way, all of the change, the weird stuff that happened, right? The fumbles, the interceptions, the dropped interceptions, the muffed punts, all of these things that took place, Duke handled better. That might be the craziest thing of it all, right? Because normally, by the way, week 1, it's a little crazy, okay? And I hear a lot of people say, oh, week 1 you got to take with a grain of salt. I get it, but guess what else is true? Week 1 losses count on the same on your record, right?
Yeah.
And when college, the playoff especially, has become basically a double elimination tournament when there's 4 teams in, like this loss counts for Clemson. If they run the table, they'll probably still get into the playoff, but if they lose another, they probably won't. And this one counts. Right, it's the whole what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You know what comes home with you? Criminal charges. Like what happens in week 1 stays in week 1. You know what comes with you? Losses. They're on your record and they don't leave. So they count. I get that week 1 is weird. I get that week 1 has crazy things happening, but they're gonna happen. And usually it's the traditionally better winning culture teams that handle the crazy better, right? They react to the wild better. Duke handled it better than Clemson did. Cade Klubnik, gosh, that's a name that's going to make Cade Klubnik looks skittish at times, right?
Very much so.
The wide eyes, the what's happening. Riley Leonard did not play a perfect game, but he looked calm as a cucumber in the face throughout. Now, after the game, he was talking with the pregame or the postgame media, and he was saying like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. Oh, I'm at a loss for words." He faked it till he made it in the game. Mm-hmm. He appeared to have it under control. So give them a lot of credit. Chris Canty debuted on our morning show. It was the new morning show on Sportsmanlike with Evan Cohen, who joined us last week, and Michelle Smallman. Here's Canty talking about Duke winning the game.
So forget about telling me about all of the indicators and how Clemson is 58-0 since he's been there when they rush for 200 and they throw for 200. None of that matters. Your team made critical errors which caused them to lose, and nobody wants to hear about your excuses and how much of last night's loss was an aberration, because it wasn't. Duke beat Clemson pillar to post, point blank and period. Riley Leonard should take off that wristband his mom gave him and give it to Dabo Swinney, because right now they suck.
Oh.
The Clemson Tigers suck.
There it is. I mean, that the Clemson Tigers element at the very end of that might be a little week 1 overreaction. We'll see. It could end up being true. We'll see. But Duke winning that game, that's just fact.